Alright, so today's Back to Science blog, I'm going to focus on someone we know and love. So this is a little picture of John here. Our kids call one of their grandmas their Oma, German term for grandma. And here's a picture of an Oma. She likes to run multiple miles, so we're going to call her the multiple mile Oma. So you notice a couple things right off the bat. You see Oma wearing her shirt, running around, and right off the bat you notice that she's got some lytic bone lesions. They look like they're abscesses, but those are just lytic bone lesions. Of course, with that, what we're going to see is elevated calcium. So remember that by which way is Oma running. And she's running towards California. She's running towards California. She must be running away from Georgia. Towards California is hypercalcemia, and then also going to see some elevated IgA and IgG. And what makes that? Well, we have some monoclonal plasma cells that are pumping out IgA and IgG, and they look like fried eggs. So what they really look like is something on the order of this. If you see them like histologically, look like this, and the chromatin that's inside that nucleus is supposed to look like a clock, and so that's where we get this clock face here that the fried egg is sitting on. All right. So what else do we know about multiple myeloma? So we have something called the rouleau formation, which are the way that the red blood cells stick together. They look a lot like poker chips. So here's our little roulette wheel to make us think of rouleau formations. And you see a bunch of the poker chip red blood cells spilling off the top of the roulette wheel. Those are rouleau formations. That's what we see microscopically. All right, what else? So everyone remembers our heavy chains and our light chains, and on our immunoglobulins. So she's got something special. So you see the Mercedes-Benz sign, and this is to remind us of Bence-Jones proteins. And the Mercedes-Benz sign is being held on by all these little kappas. So it's a kappa light chain, and found in the urine. Now it just so happens that the light chains can also be found in the blood. If you find it in the blood, it's a light chain assay that you use to find it. So Bence-Jones in the urine, light chain assay in the blood, you're finding the same thing, the kappa light chains. All right, now she's going to slip if she wears slick shoes like that. So we're going to give her some spikes. Oopsie. So she wears these little spikes, and the spikes look like M's. All right, so that's the M spike. And on electrophoresis, you have a M protein spike, and it actually looks like these little spikes on the bottom of her shoes. So again, this is our little M protein spike that you see on electrophoresis. Just the M, not the little pieces of grass that are flying off behind it. All right, so we'll go ahead and bring in this little guy here. This is our little crab. I guess this is the crab from Georgia that she's running from. Crab reminds us of elevated calcium, renal insufficiency, anemia, and bone lytic lesions, which we already talked about. And she does have some back pain here. So there's our back pain going in. And I just mentioned renal insufficiency. Just go over this again. Multiple myeloma, high in calcium, IgA, IgG being put out by the fried egg cell, which is monoclonal plasma cell. It's putting out the IgG and IgA. Oma wearing her M spikes on her shoes. Got our bone lytic lesions, renal insufficiency, and back pain. Rouleau formation, which is the red blood cells sticking together looking like poker chips on microscopy. Back pain, renal insufficiency, I think I just said that. And then our crab, which she's running from. Crab reminds us of high calcium, renal insufficiency, anemia, and bone lytic lesions. So last thing for this picture today, we'll talk about treatment. Treatment either comes in... Talking about treatment, we have chemotherapy and corticosteroids. Two main regimens we'll talk about. First is vincristine plus doxorubicin plus dexamethasone, corticosteroid. Next would be melphalan and prednisone. And that's multiple myeloma. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.